Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're all here. Today, we're going to take a look at 5 knives kind of fast. And they're going to be more the pig poker, Slurpie spike, more spear point, dagger style blades. And I know this isn't a dagger blade, it's drop point, but you know what I mean. They're pokey, they're stabby, they're also good EDC knives in terms of being able to get into your packages, get into your paracord, but they've got that little extra oomph, right? And they're going to be in varying sizes. Starting off, I wanted to bring this one out, even though it doesn't really meet that criteria. I've got both the large and the small. I think the small is kind of a perfect little Slurpie spike, right at 7 inches, with a 3-inch blade. So it's a small knife, right? Right about 3 3/4 inch handle. But it's a Serbius design collaboration with Artisan Cutlery. It is S35VN. It's got a super nice grip. It's got a splinter digger point. Super sharp. Super pokey. Not really one of the 5. It's got some nice milling. Maybe this was a White Mountain exclusives. But just a real winner of a knife that's had about a 2.5-year life in my collection and is still as enjoyable as it was. So the Artisan Cutlery Arion is going to be our number 1 or number 5 pig poker / Slurpie spike. Coming in at number 2, we've got this interesting carry design knife from MBK, Monteray Bay Knives. And it is, I would say, a tactical folder in all of the senses of what a tactical folder would be. This one is ZDP 18950. It is a carry design collaboration with Monteray Bay Knives. Uses Sanmai steel. You can see that band on both sides of that cutting bevel there. Micarta with a titanium liner lock that's just absolutely dialed for action. My buddy A to Z actually has 3 of these knives. He likes them so much. He's got a micarta, he's got a blackout, and then he's got a bougie one. But this knife fits the hand like an absolute glove. It kind of reminds me, in a way, the blade of a Prometheus Design Works or a Terrain 365. Just that real tactical Tetrazzula or Bob Tetrazzula looking blade. Because I can choke up and use this forward harpoon, or I can stay back in more of a fighting grip. And you just got this really nice spear point blade with a super swedge in ZDP 189. I want to say the heat treat's right around 68. Super hard. Super edgy, even though it's a thicker grind, as I failed to cut it. That's cutter error, guys. That is me getting caught up on debris. But anyway, yeah. This is the Monteray Bay Turbo, a knife that really surprised me because it wasn't normally my jam. And I've had this for probably around 2.5 years and have not even thought about giving it up. It is a flipper only, which is kind of out of my wheelhouse, but the way that it carries, the way that it feels, the way that it cuts, and the way that it's just a stout little presenting package. So that is the Monteray Bay Turbo, and it is another pig poker Slurpie spike, and we will keep moving on. So this is going to be our biggest in our collection, and this isn't really a dagger, but it's not really a drop point. it's just an aggressive ass pig poker slash splinter digger slash Slurpie spike slash whatever you would come into contact with type of aggressive pokey knife, right? It is a little on the larger side of what we're looking at here, because most of these knives have been medium-sized knives, around 7 inches. This guy's going to come in right around 8.5 inches. So it's a considerably bigger knife, probably a 3.5-inch blade, a little bit over 3.5-inch blade. But guys, it carries like a champ. Reversible pocket clip that works very, very well and retains very well in the pocket. It has got a blade that's M390 MK, which if I'm not mistaken is a Microtech variation of M390. The Ram-Lok is buttery smooth. The detent is, I mean, it's not going to shake out. It's not as snappy because it's an Axis style lock, but it's plenty snappy and much snappier than the MSI in my opinion. The ergos and the grip, the pig poker, Slurpie spike grip you can get on this knife is devastating. I would say it's probably in my collection, and I've got several like the Yojimbo, the Babylon. I'd say this is my most defensive posturing folding knife in my collection, and it's just a beast. And I believe it is the 4th one in our collection after the Monterey Bay, and it's the Microtech Ram-Lok stitch, which brings us to another beautiful spear point. This is the Tuya Knives Kaladan, which is a collaboration with brother Jim Skelton, a knife designer, YouTube personality, and overall cool guy in his own right. Designed this knife and partnered with Dave over at Tuya Knives to produce it. This is the second variation with just a couple of different types of carbon fiber, some few different finish options, a captive pivot, which was upgraded from the version 1, and just an absolute beautiful knife. Great jimping and lock bar access. Drop shut action in some of the most controlled drop, which it feels like a $500, $600 knife in the action. That's just the truth. I mean, perfectly centered, perfectly controlled, and it's a $250, $60 knife. Titanium bolster lock with this Asian fat carbon fiber, titanium clip, beautiful belt satin, S90V, spear point, maybe daggery blade. I just call it a pig poker and a Slurpie spike. So S90V, you've got Skelton Blade Works on that side, Tuya Knives on that side, and guys, this beast is a therapeutic slicer, a very aggressive pig poker. The thing that originally turned me off to this knife, or made me not that excited about it when it first came out, it didn't grab my aesthetic attention, was the way that the blade hides down in that bolster. And to me, it kind of looked like a parrot. If you picture this being the eye and that being the beak. Hello, hello. But once I started carrying the knife and realizing what kind of handguard that was, and if I want to do some finesse cuts, I can get in front of it. But if I want to use it to poke a out of control pig or make somebody Slurpee leak, this knife is very much a sure-handed spear point, beautiful, well-crafted, amazing action designed by Jim Skelton, partnered with Tuya and Dave Warren. I love it. Coming in at number 3, Mad Win, brings us to number 2, which is an absolute banger. I'm a big fan of Finch knives, have been since I started collecting. I love Finch knives. I've given several away in giveaways, but I've kept a good many too. I love the way the looms glow because it's a partnership between a knife manufacturer and a watch manufacturer, somebody that was into watches and knives. I don't know if you can see that loom glowing. But anyway, it glows. And this is the Roadrunner by Finch. The reason I picked this knife out is it is pretty symmetrical. It is what I would consider a modern knife based on some traditional stylings. So this looks like a very symmetrical, almost like a stiletto type blade. You've got a flipper on the front, a flipper on the back. You've got this synthetic bone handle, titanium clip, and an absolute Texas toothpick for the blade. It's a locking knife in 154 cm. Very, very sharp. Very, very much a Slurpie spike, Slurpie saver. A small knife, not a small knife, but not a huge knife. If I want to and be awkward, I can front flip it, which why would I do that? I mean, the flippers are symmetrical. So if I want to flip over there and do that because maybe I don't know, I'm not going to insert physical disability here, but I would not prefer to front flip it, even though you can. It's a perfect traditional flipper, whether you back flip it, light switch, or push button it. You can tell you've got this little cutout for the lock bar here that works very well, which helps you see which side the blade's in, because unless you're looking, you won't know. But guys, this is a slicey beast. And I mean a pokey, statty, slicey beast. This is the Finch Roadrunner. This is probably the least expensive knife on this list. It's going to come in, when I picked it up, right around $145 in 154 cm. The Roadrunner by Finch comes in a lot of different finishes and handle materials. I think it's just a gorgeous knife, and I think it's very, very aggressive, very pointy, very stabby. I'm a big fan. And then finally, we come to the little understated gentleman's jank. So this little guy is the ProTech Newport. And the ProTech Newport is an EDC knife that works like any other EDC knife. It will cut open your Amazon packages. It'll cut open your whatever you need to cut open, right? One-handed automatic knife with the blade that disappears completely in that aluminum handle. This knife is in S35 VN. It is small and light, and it is an absolute poker. So this guy is not only an EDC fantastic knife, but if I needed it as a defense knife, or if I needed it to put a hole in a Slurpie to make it drain a little bit, or if a big pig came after me and I had to break out my Texas pig poker, these are the type of blades that I think fit that bill, right? They're not all going to be created equal. I'm not saying these are the most defensive, the most aggressive, the most battle ready knives in my collection. All I'm saying is these are knives that I think in your pocket are going to serve a lot of purposes and be very good EDC knives. They're going to cut well. They're going to carry well. You've got a couple of different sizes here, from a large to medium, not really any tiny small ones. And then we've got our honorable mention, which is our mini Arion from Artisan Cutlery and S35VN. But guys, just 5+1 aggressive, spear pointy, daggery, pig poker / Slurpie spikes. That's all I can say. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for subscribing if you're so inclined. Thank you for being a channel member if you're so inclined. And please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. And always choose debate, not hate. Be up. Thank you, Joe Isabella. I love you all. Peace.